Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Cameron, and today we're breaking down a really important part of the North Carolina real estate exam, agency. This topic shows up a lot on the state portion of the test, and it's something you really need to understand. Not just to pass, but to be a good agent. So let's keep it simple and make sure it sticks. So what is agency? Agency is a legal relationship between two people, typically a broker and their client, where the broker is authorized to act on the client's behalf. That relationship creates fiduciary duties, which means loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable skill and care. Now let's talk about the types of agency relationships you'll see in North Carolina. First, we've got seller agency. You work only for the seller. Then buyer agency. You work only for the buyer. Then there's dual agency, which is legal in North Carolina as long as both parties give written consent. That's when the same firm or even the same agent represent both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. And finally, designated dual agency. This happens when one firm represents both sides, but different agents are assigned to each party, giving a little more separation. Now let's talk about how these agency relationships are established and disclosed. Anytime you're talking to someone about price, motivation, or anything serious, North Carolina law says you have to disclose who you represent. This happens at what's called first substantial contact. You'll review the working with real estate agents disclosure with them and determine if they want to become a client or remain a customer. Big difference there. Clients get fiduciary duties, customers don't. Here's what the law says about written versus oral agreements. All listing agreements and property management agreements must be in writing and signed from the start. Oral agreements for those situations are not allowed in North Carolina, period. These written agreements must have a clear expiration date, the anti-discrimination language that's required by Commission Rule 58A.0104B, the broker's license number, and they must be signed by all parties involved. Buyer tenant agency can start orally, but only in a non-exclusive way. If you're just talking, that's fine for a little while, but if you're going to write an offer or really get serious, it has to be in writing before the first offer is presented. Now let's shift to listing practices. Before you sign that listing agreement, there's a lot you should go over with the seller. This includes asking them to gather things like the deed, survey, HOA info, and current mortgage balance, explaining what services your firm will provide, including your fee, inspecting the property, noting important features, needed repairs, and any items that won't transfer, talking through the marketing plan, and doing a comparative market analysis, or CMA, to help set a competitive list price. Make sure everything is accurate, complete, and legal, including compliance with the Lead-Based Paint Disclosure Act, if the home was built before 1978. Now for buyers, it's a similar process with a few key differences. Establish the agency relationship before showing homes. You can be a buyer's agent, or you might be a sub-agent for the seller if that's the arrangement. If the buyer is interested in a for sale by owner, FSBO, and you're representing them, you'll need to get a written agreement with that unrepresented seller and stay neutral. Once you're working with the buyer, help them get pre-qualified, choose homes that fit, and show the properties. Always disclose your agency status to the listing agent or seller and get cooperation agreements when needed. While showing properties, disclose material facts, prepare a CMA to help your buyer make a smart offer, assist in writing the offer and negotiating terms, and make sure they're ready for closing and have everything they need, like disclosure forms and HOA docs. Let's touch briefly on property management also. In North Carolina, you don't need a separate license to be a property manager. A broker can do it, but they need a written management agreement from the start, no exceptions. That agreement should include the property description, start and end date, the broker's license number, and fee structure. What the broker is allowed to do on the owner's behalf: like setting rent, screening tenants, collecting rent, handling repairs, and maintaining records. The broker has fiduciary duties to the owner and must treat tenants fairly under fair housing laws. Fees can be flat, percentage-based, or combo. You need to be able to calculate them and manage trust funds properly, keeping everything separate and well documented. And one more thing, brokers must follow the ADA and fair housing rules. When selecting tenants, avoid discrimination, even unintentionally. Be thoughtful about what's allowed when using things like credit reports and criminal background checks. That's a lot, but this chapter is full of high priority exam content and real life fundamentals. Take your time, review the terms, and make sure you know what's legal, what's required, and what's just good practice. If this helped you out, hit the like button, subscribe, and check the description for a quiz and a printable cheat sheet. I'll see you in the next one, and let's keep going and get you licensed.